Hi, this is Lauren from LSP Actions, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can change the colour of whites in Photoshop using the LSP Color Change Palette Photoshop Action Suite. This is actually video tutorial number 3 in the tutorials for this action set, so if you'd like to watch the other video tutorials, please do visit the LSP Actions website, www.lsp-actions.com, and click on tutorials. And colour changing from whites is a little bit different in Photoshop because essentially there is no colour there to work with, or if there is, it's a very pale. So what you're essentially wanting to do is add and darken whites to change the colours, which if not done properly can lead to a muddy or washed out looking image. So there are a few things you can do to help add colour to whites in Photoshop. In the colour palette section, you're going to want to use the white colour palette here, not the normal colour palette, because this section here has been specifically adapted to work with white images. So let's go ahead with this gorgeous image shot by Anna Brandt, and let's go ahead and try and change this wrap colour here. Now if you wanted to, you could watch video tutorial number 4 where I show you how to make an accurate subject selection, but for this video I'm just going to be brushing the colour on. So how about we go with the whites to coral? You see this is played out and it's given you a black layer mask here. It's already selected a white brush for you. You can use the square bracket keys to make your brush a little bigger or smaller and change the hardness. So I'm just going to go ahead and start painting this on, and you'll see it's given us a lovely peachy tone, a lovely coral that is adapting to the whites in your image. All the details are still there. The thing with changing colours with whites is you'll notice in the shadow areas they may become a little darker, but what you can use is a brush on black to kind of paint a little bit of that off. So I'm going to show you how to do a little bit more intelligent masking there, but let's just add this colour in first. Switch over to a black brush, hit an X on your keyboard if you want to, rather than clicking. I'm going to go down soft and I'm just going to lightly clickety click around here, just until this intense effect starts lessening. It's worth taking your time with this. Back to a white brush here, just to paint some of this peachiness on. And there we go. So that's how to change a white to a colour in Photoshop using the LSP Color Palette actions. How about we try something else? How about apple green? Now because we've already made a selection here, you can simply Alt and drag this layer mask up to replace the new one there. And you can see we've now gone apple green. Because green is a very different skin tone, you can see on the old mask here where I've accidentally gone over the skin a little bit. So I'm just going to use a black brush there and tidy that up a touch. Now this is very bright for this image. There are two things you can do. You could either slide the opacity down and just bring that in enough to suit your image tone, or you can come here to the white tweaks, tongue twister, white tweaks brush section, and you have darken, lighten, intensify, mute, add contrast, deepen, pastel light tone, and rescue highlights, and these will all add various effects to the colour to really help it adapt to your image depending on what you require. So for this one I'm going to click mute, and then I'm going to take the opacity down of these a little bit, mute the tone deeper, just a little bit. Just play with these in there, and you can of course add your own layer masks in. So we have a nice sweet green colour that we've adapted to suit the image. For this one I think I prefer that coral. How about changing this background here? How about we change it to, So I'm just going to click that and play to make sure you're not in this clipping mask area. So I'm just going to click on the background again, just to make sure there's no layer interference there. And hit white to baby blue. That's played out. Now I can start painting this over the background. I'm not too worried about getting this on the subject right now because I'm going to go in with a black brush in a minute and use that to tweak the selection. If you watch video 4 where I show you a little bit more about advanced subject selection, that will really help you. But for this one I'm literally just using and a black and a white brush to paint this on or off. And when you're happy with the selection, you can turn it on or off just to make sure you haven't missed any kind of crucial areas there. And again, that video number 4 will help you with hair selection a little bit, or any kind of fiddly areas. And once you have your background colour, for example, we can turn the peach on there. We can just play any of the whites, for example, lilac here, and we can decide to just alt and drag this selection up and replace it there. I'll take the opacity of lilac down a little bit. So now we have an image that's lilac and coral, whereas before it was plain white. You can literally just play and decide what you would like to do with these. You can just use this to edit one area, for example, just the wrap a little bit. We could replace the wrap with coral, lilac, sorry, by dragging that layer mask up just to replace it there, and change the opacity to suit. So that's how to colour change on whites using the white section here. You may have to edit a little bit more to make it look realistic because, like I said, white doesn't have any colour, so you're adding colour to something that essentially has no kind of toning into it apart from a little bit of shadow and highlight. So colour changing on white does involve a little bit of an artistic eye, so you can change that opacity or use the tweaks and change them a little bit more just to make it work. But it's totally doable with the colour palette set, and you can get that at www.lsp-actions.com.